from Midland, Odessa, and Big Spring, this is ABC Big 2 News at 10.
Now at 10, tensions are running high as the landscape of abortion rights rapidly changes tonight. A growing number of states are beginning to enforce bans on abortion, with few exceptions. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Rob Tuke. Now, peaceful protests in the streets this weekend have been punctuated by isolated incidents of vandalism and violence. Many of the marches have been peaceful otherwise, but some moments have been tense, even criminal. Windows were smashed at the Vermont State House. In Colorado, a Christian pregnancy center was threatened and burned. In Providence, an off-duty officer is charged with assault after video shows him punching an abortion rights demonstrator who is also his Democratic opponent in a state Senate race. The High Court is sending the issue back to the states, and while thousands have taken to the streets both in support and to protest the Supreme Court ruling, there was a different take today at many churches in America. Here's ABC's Oreen Shaw.
On the first Sunday after the High Court's ruling, some are calling the decision answered prayer.
I'm actually very thrilled. After many rosaries and a lot of praying.
Obviously, as a Catholic, we believe that, abortion is not right.
But outside many churches, there is also reflection.
I'm anti-abortion, but if you are raped or the mother's life is in jeopardy if she is to have the child, then I understand that. And I think there should be some leeway there.
The majority of Americans in our ABC News Washington Post poll, 58%, said abortion should be legal in all or most cases. And as Americans grapple with the post-Roe reality,
I'm listening to both sides. Everyone has a story for everything that they do, and everyone's lives is different. So what I'm going through is not the same thing that you're going through.
This first Sunday also coincides with pride marches across the country.
The attack on abortion is connected to the entire attack on bodily autonomy and equal rights.
And after Justice Clarence Thomas's concurring opinion that the decision opens the right to contraception and the rights of same-sex couples to review, today's marches taking on a new urgency.
And I'm sure what'll come next with the other rights that are under attack, they'll come, but we're ready for the fight. We've been fighting for our whole lives just like women have been, and we're ready for it.
And across Texas, with Roe v. Wade overturned, some men and women are making the decision to sterilize themselves. And as ABC's Jayla Washington reports, they're making plans to live in what will be a new reality.
Outcry has led some to pre-planning. That's what these two Central Texas doctors are seeing, as both women and men already look into alternatives.
Typically receive about 200 or so phone calls on a given Friday. We had over 400 phone calls to our office just this past Friday, with 70 occurring over just the 1 hour period after Roe v. Wade was passed.
And that's just for vasectomies, according to Dr. Kaushik Shah with the Austin Urology Institute. At Women's Health Domain, Dr. Tyler Handcock says they averaged 10 requests for 2 ligations per week. And now, just in 2 days,
this weekend has been over 100 requests. Patients are anxious and scared, nervous, and we'll do what we can.
Both doctors tell us they've never seen such an increase in people wanting these life-altering services in such a short amount of time, but are doing what they can to keep up with the demand that they expect to keep growing.
We've actually increased our schedule availability.
Some may be letting emotions get the best of them, but with good reason if you ask Hancock.
People are scared that contraception's next. Other human rights are next. I think it's a knee-jerk, but also I think some of it may hold some merit.
Shaw and Hancock are urging patients to think through the process completely, even in the heat of it all.
And that was Jayla Washington reporting. Now, to stay up to date with more news about the overturning of Roe v. Wade and the future of abortion rights, you can head to our website, yourbasin.com. Now taking a live look tonight from our Midland Tower cam. It was another warm day, but this time with ample cloud coverage. But the sun was still shining down today. Odessa Fire Rescue saw this little girl who was selling lemonade on the corner of 10th and Golder. Her mom was trying to keep her cool by holding an umbrella over her, so the fire department's Central B shift gave its awning to help her keep cool. And I heard through the grapevine she sold out too. And when our local firefighters weren't busy helping neighbors keep cool, they were outside training. Check this out. They make it look easy. They're bringing down another human on that ladder. The department said in its caption, everyone has the fire, but the champions know when to ignite the spark. Station 2B shift, training to be the best they can. Now, Big Bend National Park shared this photo today on Facebook. The Park Service said it appears monsoon season arrived a little early this year and that this June has surprised us with a few storms. The service said make sure to keep your gas tank full or over half, as lightning storms sometimes cause power outages affecting gas stations in the area. Park rangers also warn avoid hiking through exposed areas or above the tree line during lightning storms. And joining us now with a check on our forecast is ABC Big 2's Bridget Sarpong. Hi, Bridget.
Hi, Rob. You know, today, not too bad whatsoever. You know, we actually reached our 90s, our low 90s, sitting at 93 degrees, about, 3 degrees cooler than our average at 96. Usually around this time, we're definitely used to some really great temperatures, but back in 1994, we sat in our triple digits, sitting at 112 degrees. Our lows not too bad, just 1 degree warmer. I'll have more of this new week's forecast on the show. Back over to you, Rob.
Thank you, Bridget. And now to an update on the Uvalde school shooting investigation. Hearings continue tomorrow about the police response to the shooting, and the parents of Amiri Jo Garza spoke with ABC's Marcus Moore about their continued calls for accountability.
A month later, Kimberly and Angel Garcia are still yearning for answers.
I just miss her. Like, I just start talking about her, and it's just so hard just to know that I don't have her anymore.
10-year-old Amiri Jo Garza was one of the 19 children killed in Uvalde May 24th, along with 2 of their beloved teachers. Like so many other desperate parents, her stepfather, Angel, a medic, quickly responded to calls for help that day at Robb Elementary.
I don't get how you can listen to those kids and not go save them.
There were also calls for accountability over the law enforcement response to the massacre. And since the shooting, much of the focus in the public has been placed squarely on School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo. Arredondo has defended his actions and said in an interview that he didn't consider himself the commanding officer on the scene that day.
There's so many officers at that school, and they were so busy trying to keep us away.
What do you want us to know about Amiri?
She always made sure that people knew that they had a friend.
Amiri's family now cherishing the art she crafted with her innocent hands that now bring comfort to their grieving hearts. Angel writing this open letter to Amiri after her death.
I know with the talent you had, my love, you could have gone anywhere. It hurts me the most that I won't get to see who you would have become.
Marcus Moore, ABC News, down.
And that was Marcus Moore reporting. And developing now
on ABC Big 2 News.
And developing now at 10, there's an ongoing investigation at a South Carolina country club tonight. Police say an alligator pulled a person into the water and killed them. This happened in Horry County. The victim was recovered from the retention pond, and the alligator is set to be euthanized. The victim's identity has not been released. And closer to home in Reeves County, a black bear was hit and killed on I-20. Biologists were alerted by a driver about the bear, which was found near the I-10 and I-20 junction. Game wardens and biologists were able to safely recover the bear. They say its body will be donated for public education and will provide valuable genetic samples to help scientists learn more about our West Texas black bear population. While rare, anyone who sees a black bear is asked to alert their local game warden or district biologist.
And this morning's cold front mixed with today's wind made it feel cooler. Will this week continue to sit in the cooler side of for the next couple of days of June? I'll have that answer after the break.
And coming up, an emerging sport in the Permian Basin and around the country, the local competition that brought in athletes from across Texas. And the Stanley Cup Finals continued tonight right here on ABC Big 2 with Game 6. Highlights from the ice are coming up next.
But how about Miller out in front? Can he hang on? Bryce Hoppel is now starting to make a move.
And a Midland native and Olympian battles it out on the track. See the lightning fast finish in the 800 meter when we come back.
Locals know the best way to control expensive water costs is to install their own water well. Since 1981, the JR's water well team has been serving the Permian Basin, providing quality residential and commercial water wells that every customer can trust. Our customers describe us as outstanding and professional, with a quick response time and expert knowledge. Trust the JR sticker seen all over West Texas for your water well installs, maintenance, and repairs. Call today to receive the Big 2 10% off anything offer.
Here's the perfect mattress if you sleep hot. The M. Lily mattress with wall-hugging adjustable base and fans built into the base to ensure cool, comfortable sleep. Now here's my promise to you. You'll never sleep hot again, only at Bob Mills Sleep Spa.
The Vineyard, Midland's premier master planned community, impeccable high-end luxury with resort-style amenities. These Silverleaf homes are located close to Green Tree Country Club and are walking distance to Faskin Elementary. Contact Alexa to schedule your private showing.
Oh, love that Chevy Blazer. That's our next SUV. Love that Equinox. That's our next SUV.
Nice Trailblazer.
It was love at first sight. What?
The Chevy family of SUVs. Find new options. Find new roads.
Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing on most 2021 and 2022 Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. New models are arriving daily. Secure yours today. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
Allison 10-speed transmission. Premium features available on GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on Sierra Heavy Duty models. Visit your Permian Basin GMC dealer.
The Bob Mills Freedom Event lets you have this luxury reclining sofa love seat with designer pillows. Plus, I'm giving you the $800 matching recliner free. Come celebrate all of the free during the Bob Mills Freedom Event.
And now, your local Weather Authority forecast.
Well, friends, a very busy kind of Sunday, and we're closing it out with temperatures sitting in the 70s at 78 degrees. Our humidity is sitting pretty high at 48 degrees, our dew point 54, and our winds are traveling pretty fast east-northeast at 25 miles per hour. Now, the one thing that we're going to continue to see is some of that rain, and we're going to see that tomorrow, but mostly in the afternoon. We're going to be in our 60s in the morning, and the winds are going to still be present in the double digits, traveling northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, taking a look at that rain that we have been seeing in the Permian Basin, it's really north of the Permian Basin area, mostly in Carlsbad and in Hobbs, and a little bit some neighborhoods in the Midland and Odessa area. Now, because of that rain that we are seeing, we currently do have a flood advisory in Eddy and Lee. This is going to last until tomorrow around 12:45 a.m. Mountain Time, and we're going to continue to see some of that rain going on into our Monday around 6 a.m. That's when we get that break from the rain with some cloud cover for the most part. Then we get over into 1 p.m. That's when we begin to see some of that rain coming on in Alpine, north of Alpine, and down below in Alpine as well. Then we get into 5 p.m. That's when we're going to see a lot of rain action going on in the area. Now, not just for Monday, but as we make our way into Tuesday, it's going to last with us until 10 in the morning. We're going to have a little bit of that cloud cover, but for the most part, pretty clear, kind of Tuesday morning. Then we get into 1 p.m. on Tuesday. That's when that rain starts to come on in Carlsbad, in Marfa, Alpine, pretty much over towards the east part of the Permian Basin. Then we get into around at 9 p.m. That's when all that rain does begin to clear on out, and we can really enjoy our Tuesday. So pretty much a lot of rain these next couple of days, and we will also also have a high wind warning over in Colesburn, lasting until tomorrow around 10 a.m. Central Time. Now, with the rain and along with the wind, a couple of tips for you guys. Stay indoors until the storm does pass over. It's going to produce a lot of lightning. Avoid, flooded roads or drive slowly in those puddles as you're making your way home. Avoid any open spark because of that wind that will be traveling pretty fast. And speaking of that wind, our trees, grass, and our weeds, dust, and mold sitting at a low level, so we can really pay attention to, making sure that we have our rain gear, such as, the umbrella and all that good stuff. Now, tomorrow morning, we'll be sitting in our 60s once again, but we will, start off pretty, clear, a little bit of some of that sun coming on out. Then we get into those PM thunderstorms, and then the winds again, once again, traveling northeast between 10 and 15 miles per hour. So definitely not too bad whatsoever. Then that 7-day forecast is going to show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to get some rain. Thursday and Friday, we're going to have that break. And then Saturday and Sunday, we're going to see some more of that rain. So really just be sure to hold on to that rain gear because you're going to need it. We do cool down a little bit on tomorrow and along with Tuesday, sitting in the 80s. So we'll definitely take what we can get. And, hopefully that'll be some good rain for us. I don't know what it means for sports, though.
And now, your ABC Big 2 Sports.
All right, well, many of you just finished watching Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals right here on ABC Big 2. With the Colorado Avalanche, they only needed one more win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. That would clinch the Stanley Cup trophy. Greatest trophy in sports, in my opinion. Another one-goal game, though, meant this was going to be a tense one to the very end. Colorado trailed 1-0 after the first period, but in the second, things opened up a bit. Nathan McKinnon scores his 13th goal of the playoffs from a super difficult angle there. Avs tie this game, but after that, after a 1-1 tie, about 10.5 minutes later, Arturi Likonen finishes a 3-on-2 for the Avalanche. Colorado comes back to grab a 2-1 lead. And then after that, the Lightning, they never got particularly close to equalizing this game with a 2-2 goal. Time runs out, and the Colorado Avalanche win their third ever Stanley Cup, their first since 2001, denying Tampa of their third win in a row. The Midland Rockhounds were looking to bounce back after losing 3 in a row against the Tulsa Drillers. Bottom of the fourth, Brett Harris singles home J.J. Schwartz for Midland's first run, tying the game at 1. 2 innings later, bottom of the 6th, Hounds down 2. Shane Selman got enough of this baseball to score Jordan Diaz on a sacrifice fly. Midland, though, they trail 3-2. Bottom of the 8th, Selman on second after a Harris homer tied it. William Simonite hits his 3rd homer of the season, giving the Hounds the late lead. The Rockhounds end the series on a high note, coming back to beat the Drillers 5-3.
But it's Bryce Hoppel, 144-58.
Midland native Bryce Hoppel won the 800-meter title at the USA Track and Field Championships, qualifying for the World Outdoor Championships next month. 1 minute and 44.6 seconds is all it took for Hoppel to cover 800 meters and clinch his 3rd career USATF title by a little more than 1/10 of a second. Hoppel will compete for Team USA in the 2022 World Outdoor Championships in Eugene, Oregon from Friday, July 15th through the 24th. All right, Astros-Yankees. This has been the best series to watch in baseball this weekend. Jose Altuve leading it off. The first pitch from Nestor Cortez is gone. Solo shot, 15th homer of the year for Altuve. Astros up 1-0. 4th inning, same score, 2 men on. Mauricio Dubon singles up the middle off Cortez. Both runners score. Houston up 3-0. And in the 7th inning, with the same score, Jose Urquidy had not allowed a base hit. That was 16 straight innings dating back to last game. The Yankees didn't have a hit, but Giancarlo Stanton hit his 17th homer of the year, and the Yankees get their first hit in 16 innings. 8th inning, though, DJ LeMahieu, a 2-run homer down the line off Phil Maton, and we're tied at 3. 10th inning, same score, 2 on for Aaron Judge. Yeah, he got all that one, folks. A 3-run walk-off home run off Seth Martinez. Judge his 2nd walk-off hit of the series and his league-leading 28th homer. Yankees win 6-3. All right, Washington Nationals in Texas facing the Rangers. First inning, Nelson Cruz with a runner on gets the hit off Glenn Otto. 1 run comes in. A tough play at the plate there for the Rangers. Nationals lead 1-0. Late in the first, it's a 2-0 game. Lane Thomas goes deep here off the wall. 1 run scores off of this RBI hit. Nationals lead 3-0. Second inning, Otto still trying to fight his way back in this one, but Josh Bell finds the gap. 1 run scores. The Irving native says, hook 'em, baby. Yeah, there you go. Nationals lead 4-0. Cruz then, the former Texas Ranger, sends one deep to right. It drops in. 2 runs come in to score. Cruz 2 for 5, driving in 3 runs, and the Nationals win 6-4. All right, the Ole Miss baseball team clinched the College Baseball World Series today, winning 4-2 over Oklahoma to take the best-of-3 series. Rebels, they scored 3 runs in the 8th to win the national championship in their first ever finals appearance. Well, new at 10, an organization for an emerging sport held a competition in Midland this weekend, and we had people from all ages from all around the state who showed up. ABC Big 2 Sports Director Kaylor Smith takes us inside the competition.
Bicycle motocross, a less common sport, but growing in popularity.
Some people just don't like the ball sports, so this is just another alternative, for something that's good.
West Texas BMX has been offering this outlet for 12 years at Reyes, Mashburn, Nelms Park in Midland. This weekend they welcomed riders from around Texas for their state race event. And riders young and old have been prepping for weeks.
I just ride out here all the time, make sure I've got all my timing right.
Anybody from 5 and under all the way to 51 and over, they're out here trying to get their goal of being the state #1 rider.
But BMX does more for kids than just the thrill of competition.
I was on this path of going down a wrong path, and it turned my life around, and I've seen so many kids in the sport that it's turned their lives around.
There are now 5 colleges that offer BMX scholarships, so this is another way to help pay for your college.
West Texas BMX is hoping to continue to grow the sport and its organization because
nearly every kid knows how to ride a bike.
All right, and that was our Kaylor Smith reporting. The organization says getting involved is easy. Just look for West Texas BMX on Facebook and reach out, or come out to their open practices on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 6 to 8 p.m.
And coming up tonight, it's a blast from the past. An old movie store with a wealth of films is being rescued by a nonprofit. Why the group thinks VHS is worth saving.
The new GMC Sierra. Premium and capable. That's professional grade. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on Sierra models. Visit your Permian Basin GMC dealer.
Hey America, it's Adrienne Bankert. I am so excited to wake up with you, have coffee with you, but if you need an earlier start, I totally get it. I got just the guy for you. Hey Mitch.
Hey Adrienne, and hello America. I'm Mitch Carr. Join me at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. Central for early morning.
And you can still stay tuned for Morning in America with me, Adrienne Bankert, at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 Central.
Early morning starts Monday at 6/5 Central, only on News Nation. News for all America.
You're going to need this.
Dude, great ride, right? This Silverado keeps me connected and in control. And this touchscreen is my command center.
My command center. The 2022 Silverado LT. Find new control. Find new roads.
Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups. New models are arriving daily. Secure yours today. See your Permian Basin Chevy dealers.
We are excited to announce that the Oil Patch Kids Invitational Golf Tournament will be held this year at Hogan Park Golf Course on July 22nd and 23rd. This is a two-person scramble benefiting foster children and other children at risk in the Permian Basin. To register for this great cause, visit us online at oilpatchkids.org or contact Kathy, Kaylin, or Susan for more information about the tournament. The Oil Patch Kids Invitational Golf Tournament. Become a true West Texas hero by registering today.
Watch Good Morning Basin from 5 to 7 on ABC Big 2.
Long before streaming video services became our source of home entertainment, clunky videotapes ruled the world. The idea of VHS tape cassettes almost seems a bit outdated now. But one nonprofit believes that medium is worth saving. ABC's John Lee takes us to Charlotte, North Carolina, where VHS is getting a nostalgic revival.
In a world where many have a PhD in old school, movie buffs find a place to escape the rat race at a place where they can be kind and rewind again.
A lot of people do love VHS.
VisArt Video in East Charlotte is kind of a blockbuster idea for a nonprofit. They have an archive of 40,000 movies, including DVD, Blu-ray, and some 2,000 VHS titles. VHS, yes? They boast the largest collection on the East Coast. Decades past its prime, the format is pure nostalgic magic.
Oh, that sound.
Matt Christensen is VisArt clerk and outreach director. He says VHS fans embrace every perfection.
A lot of people like the sound quality. Like, if you're watching an older horror movie, that graininess, that feel of it, it fits.
The store rents and sells the vintage and hard to find.
Oh, here.
Yep, right there, that shelf.
Okay.
And then up front, there's some shelves by the Miss Pac-Man machine.
Oh, there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When someone comes in for VHSs, like, you know them right away.
Just make sure I don't buy something twice.
Bob Beach scours the shelves using his eyes and his hands. He's been an avid collector since 2010.
And I decided I was going to get 100 movies, and it got out of hand.
How out of hand is it?
Like 5,000.
What? Wow. Now, for some of you city slickers out there, the idea of seeing VHS again, well, that might leave you dazed and confused. But for old school movie junkies, trust me, this is a field of dreams. This independent video store first opened at another Charlotte location 40 years ago. But there are lofty goals ahead for VisArt, which became a nonprofit in 2020, supporting education and the passion for all things movies. Gina Stewart is executive director.
But we are now a film archive. We're a home for filmmakers, particularly in this area, and we seek to provide a community service and education about film.
Sometimes we can all use a blast from the past.
There are still new films that come out that they will do special editions on VHS just to give you that nostalgic feel. This was a film that just came out a few years ago with Nicolas Cage called Color Out of Space.
Long ago, most moved on to the next best thing. But folks here believe the tales via the tape still have a place. Are people kind?
Yeah.
Do they rewind?
Most of the time.
And coming up tonight, it's being called the best preserved woolly mammoth in North America. And it was just discovered by a gold miner. Coming up, we take a look at the mummified mammoth that has scientists.
ABC Big 2 Sports, brought to you by Glasheen Vaez and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
Welcome to Celebrity Family Feud. Your wife is a lady in the street, and what animal in the sheets?
A cougar.
Lord have mercy.
Celebrity Family Feud, Sunday, July 10th on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Who needs a cordless phone? I can go anywhere with this thing. I could be here,
and out here. It's for you. It's not really for you. I'm just making a point.
What's next? I'm going to switch energy providers just because my bills are too high?
Don't be a holdover. Switch to Champion Energy for home or business.
From mitigating mice in Midland to tackling ticks in Tall City and wiping out black widows in West Texas, no one knows Midland Odessa pests better than Fox. That's because Fox Pest Control is locally operated and dedicated to keeping our community pest-free. And now we're offering 50% off your initial service with any new contract. Visit foxpestlocal.com for details. Fox Pest Control, local experts, killer results.
Well, are we ready for this?
What's next, Grandma?
Hayden, do you want to cut the banana?
Okay, let's do it.
Look at him. Now comes the best part, the Bluebell ice cream. Oh, that's fun. Hey, how about some chocolate? And some sprinkles.
How's this, Grandma?
That looks so yummy. You know, your mom is gonna love this. Don't forget a spoon.
Moms have a lot to worry about. Finding formula to feed their babies shouldn't be one of those worries. The New Mexico Women, Infant, and Children program is currently helping thousands of participants find the formula they need. And we can help you too. If you or someone you know is impacted by the current shortage, contact your local WIC office for assistance. For more information or to find your local office, visit nmformula.com.
Caught on camera tonight, a shocking find for scientists in Canada. This is a baby woolly mammoth frozen in time under permafrost. It was found by a Canadian miner. The mammoth is considered the best preserved mummified woolly mammoth in North America. As you can see, it still has its hair and its skin. Scientists are calling it Nuncho Ga and believe it may be 30,000 years old. Meantime, a bear walks into a country club. And despite not having a membership, this fella in Naples, Florida, went exploring. Locals at the club at the Strand Country Club say a bear paid them a visit at their golf and tennis court several times in the last week. According to club staff, the bear isn't violent, but it slightly disrupted customers inside the facility. They also say the animal is sensitive to noise and likes to roam, including into the barn where golf carts are stored. And coming up after the break, Bridget will have one last look at the forecast. Stay with us.
When pain says, it's time to go home, I say, not yet. Aleve, who do you take it for?
Earn an associate degree in respiratory therapy from Midland College. This is a 20-month curriculum, 66 semester credit hours. This program prepares students for an allied health specialty that cares for patients with cardiopulmonary deficiencies.
If your floors look like this, then it's time to call West Texas Commercial Cleaning. Using one of the most advanced floor cleaners available, they'll make your floors shine.
West Texas Commercial Cleaning. Let us bring your floors back to life.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Your Buick Park said so. That's so you.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kinda got a sixth sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yep.
So you.
It is.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you. Pay no interest on Buick SUV models. Visit your Permian Basin Buick dealer.
We are excited to announce that the Oil Patch Kids Invitational Golf Tournament will be held this year at Hogan Park Golf Course on July 22nd and 23rd. This is a two-person scramble benefiting foster children and other children at risk in the Permian Basin. To register for this great cause, visit us online at oilpatchkids.org or contact Kathy, Kaylin, or Susan for more information about the tournament. The Oil Patch Kids Invitational Golf Tournament. Become a true West Texas hero by registering today.
At Priority ER Care, our luxurious setting is run by dual board-certified emergency and family medicine physicians. We treat our patients like family. At Priority ER Care, we've seen it all, we do it fast.
Well, let's take one last look at that 7-day forecast. Now, what you can see and what I can see at the same time is that it is going to be rainy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that gives us a break for Thursday and Friday. Not only that, but we are going to be cooling down tomorrow along with Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I guess you can call it that we're coming back into our 90s because we're just like a 1 degree, you know, a little bit short of that 90-degree temperatures, but not bad whatsoever. You know, Robin, Avi, I'm excited because it has been pretty hot these past couple of days, and now, you know, we're going to cool on down with that wind and with some rain.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that change. Thank you, Bridget. And last tonight, this whiskey is trending because it's being called a solution to a bizarre problem on the East Coast. New Hampshire is seeing an invasion of pesky green crabs. It's causing some chaos on the coast, devouring 50 clams and oysters a day. So Tamworth Distilling said, we have an idea. They took the crabs and turned them into whiskey. And of course, it's a lot more complicated than that, but this is called the Crab Trapper. And it's a modified sour mash combined with green crab stock. Costs about $65. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think 65 is a little bit high for that. I'm willing to try it, but I don't know.
I don't know. I love crab.
65?
I don't know.
There's a time for everything, I guess.
I agree. There's a moment for everything. You know.
Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Good night.